The Sonoran Desert is one of the most beautiful places in the country. It's also one of the best places to explore. Whether you're a history buff searching for ancient artifacts and ruins, exploring abandoned mines, or you just love the beauty of the desert itself, the Sonoran Desert has it all. You can even sometimes check out things that sort of stick out. Whatever it is you decide to look for, to me, the adventure itself is what makes it all worth it. So I started this little journey today at a place called Pueblo LA Plata. It's about a mile hike in, and I don't have time to hike in there today and check out the ruins, but I wanted to start here and give you a little bit of history about it and then move on. Pueblo LA Plata has a history dating as far back as 1200 AD. It is a large archaeological site situated within the Agua Fria National Monument. It is said that approximately 3,000 people lived in scattered villages on Perry Mesa between 1200 and 1450 AD. One of the most prominent and easily accessible ruins within the Agua Fria National Monument, this ancient site draws many different visitors every single year. Named for Silver Creek, a water source for the village and a steep hike away, it was fairly easy to see that this location was not chosen for easy access to the creek. It was chosen for the view, as hauling water from the creek looked difficult. From the settlement, the canyon cut by the Agua Fria River can be seen wandering to the south. Fires set by people living in that direction would be easily seen, and the inhabitants that once lived here on the mesa would know of the impending arrival of traders, enemies, or messengers. For the main house, this pile of rubble that you see here was said to consist of 80 to 100 rooms. Pueblos were originally built with no ground level doors or windows and were accessed only through the roof with ladders. This was a very strategic building style. In case of attack, the ladders could be removed and it would be much harder to access the buildings. Now you can see on this map here too that we're here. You hike into the main house, which used to be right here, which is that mound that I showed you, and you hike on to the end to the mesa, and that's called Fort Silver. Must have been pretty tough living out here at the time. It does say that they left for reasons unknown and no one really knows why, but you know, it could have been droughts, overpopulation of this area, and it just became unsustainable for the people at the time. We have a lot of things and areas to see today. So I'll come out here again since it's not that far from my house, and I'll hike in and I'll explore the whole area a different day. I didn't see much of ruins, it basically looks like just piles of rocks and stuff like that. You know, with a closer look, I bet it'd be a lot more interesting than just overhead drone shots. I am out on Bloody Basin Road. This little offshoot, I've never been up this way before. I've been by it 1,000 times, but I've never been up here, and I wanted to come check it out. This little journey we got going on today, starting out on Bloody Basin Road, as I said, and then we're going to move down to Cave Creek Road and hit a run called Hogans Run. Want to see what's out there as well. Then we're going to jump back on to Cave Creek Road, head south some more, and possibly do Cramm Mountain Loop, and then we're going to head on over and check out the top of Humboldt Mountain. There is a surprise up there. A lot of you probably already know what it is. Those of you that already know what's up there, then you know where I'm going. getting to the top of Cave Creek Road off of Bloody Basin is a good ways from the beginning of Bloody Basin Road off the I-17. I wanted to come this way because I wanted to see certain areas in a certain order. Now you can start down in Cave Creek and run it all the way up this way if you so choose. Either way is great, but I figured if I start at the top of Bloody Basin Road, I can hop on Cave Creek, hit Hogans Run, which is an out and back, and then proceed south again to the rest of my destinations, and then just come out Cave Creek and then head home. Either way, I would have had to come this way anyway, no matter which way I went. Now it is May 10th today, so it's already warm out today. It's quarter after 10 and it's 85 degrees, which isn't bad. It's actually pretty good right now, but pretty soon, obviously, when it starts to hit over 100, 110, I'll be moving a lot of my adventures up north, mostly along the rim, the Mogollon Rim, and pace in and up that way, get up into the pine trees and get out of the hot weather. I'm also going to be doing some overnights up that way pretty soon. I got a couple trips planned for overnight camping, so stay tuned for those coming up as well. You know, up there on the rim makes for perfect summer camping. You're basically gonna leave the valley, go up there and escape the blistering 110, 115 degree heat to weather like it is today. Turned on to Hogans Run. Right away we got a pretty good incline to go up. Looks pretty awesome. So we're gonna make our way up here and see what we got. Go this way. Well, I absolutely had to climb this little vista point. Pretty cool up here. It dead ends, of course. There's a little fire ring up here, but you can see where we came in down there. Okay, and then I climbed this hill to reach this point. Trail goes that way, so we got to continue on that way. Why not climb a fun hill, right? I was hoping there'd be a kind of a different way out going down the other side, but there wasn't. I had to turn around up there. No big deal. But we're on the main trail of Hogans Run, and then we're going to continue down Cave Creek Road after we're done here. And so far, Hogans Run is just a very narrow and rocky trail. If you come across people coming the other way, it'd be very difficult to turn around. So I've turned on my spotlights up front, just in case someone is coming the other way. They might be able to see me further off into the distance. Oh, got a big puddle coming up, looks like. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this. Whew, that was huge. I was worried there for a second. This area right here was moderately washed out, but does not pose a significant risk as of right now. I made it through with no problems whatsoever, but always remember, when you're running solo, when in doubt, just turn around. I'll give you a much better view of that washout on the way back. This is the only gate you'll come across on Hogans Run, but just remember to always follow the rule, leave the gates as you find them. Hello, Mr. Cow. Hello. Oh, what is that? What is that? I have to go check that out. So I'm gonna go check out the structure. I have to walk past the cows. I don't want to disturb them too much, but hopefully they won't get too mad at me while they're running. You can see the stacks of tires up there. You can see those. Okay, and then you have that concrete block in there. Of course, at the same time, we're watching out for rattlesnakes. And then this ball right here could have had something to do with mining back in the day, but I don't know why the stacks of tires are up there. I have no idea what that is, but it's interesting to say the least. This could be some sort of a footing for something, but I don't know. It just looks so old. Of course, I never would have seen that if I weren't looking at the cows. So thank you, cows, for being there and letting me spot that old structure. So now we're gonna move on. I don't see anything else around here, but when you see something like that, you got to check it out. Nice little campsite down in there with a fire ring. Nice peaceful little campsite. It is right off the trail, but that's okay. This is far enough out where you probably won't be bothered. Pleasantly surprised with how it is back here. It's very beautiful. I do see a lot of evidence of old burn scarring, but it looks like it was from a very long time ago because a lot of this trail is overgrown. But you can see a bunch of the old burned dead trees. But it looks like she came back really well. I did pass a big water tank with a solar panel. It looks fairly new, but it didn't look like it was extracting any water. So I reached an opening here. It is a campsite. It does have a fire ring, as you can see behind me. The trail goes for another, I'd say 2 miles or so, but I'm gonna turn around here because it's so slow going that I need to get out and get to my next destinations. So unfortunately, I'm not going to go the whole way on this Hogans Run out and back, but it is a beautiful run so far. I just want to save myself some time and be able to see everything I want to see today. You can see that burn scarring evidence right here that I was talking about before, but you can see how lush it is around here. So obviously it happened some time ago. I don't know how long ago, but it was definitely a while ago. Now I'm not sure why, but for some reason OnX is acting squirrely with me today. I did just put the new update on my phone, so that may or may not have something to do with it. But this is probably the second or third time I've seen this happen. When I'm recording a track, it stopped following me on the trail and just went straight across. Yes, I have downloaded the offline maps, and like I said, my phone is updated and the app is updated, so I have no idea why it's doing that. But then when I turned around, it got back on track and it's doing what it's supposed to do. If you think about how many trails I do, 2 or 3 times really isn't that bad, considering all the videos that I've made and all the trails that I've taken and recorded my tracks. So nothing's gonna be perfect all the time, but that is very annoying. So fix it, OnX. There's that water tank I was referring to a little bit earlier. You can tell it looks pretty freaking new. There's the trough, but there is no water in it. So it looks like they're not pumping any water right now. I did see one cow near this water tank, but they're not getting a drink from that. So how many of you out there are Gen Xers that watch my channel? You know, I'm listening to satellite radio, Sirius XM, and you know, I just love especially 90s music, because that's when I was in high school, from 91 to 94. But 80s and 90s music just kicks freaking ass. You guys out there agree with me? You know, back in the day we were all latchkey kids. You know, we weren't allowed inside until it got dark. Drinking from the hose. You know, all that glorious stuff, building forts. Our parents never knew where the hell we were. Not even close. And if we told our parents where we went, we lied, because we went way further than we were supposed to. You know, but God, I used to come home from school and, you know, nobody was ever home. My dad was always working. He was a cop. And during my high school years, my parents were divorced by then. You know, my dad, he had to work a lot to keep supporting us and whatnot. But we were never home. We did whatever the hell we wanted to do. And those were the glory days. This is that slightly washed out area I was referring to previously. As you can see, it's not too bad, but over time, it's definitely going to get worse. We are back on Cave Creek Road. Nice and smooth, well, a lot smoother than we were just previously on. Now we're gonna head south down Cave Creek Road, hit a couple different more areas. I think we're gonna do Cramm Mountain Loop, which is a very short out and back loop around a little mountain, Cramm Mountain obviously. Then we're going to hit up Humboldt, and we are also going to travel through the Seven Springs Recreation Area, which is an abundant amount of camping places. Now this place right here looks really cool. There's a sign that says 51 Ranch, and wow, just look at this place, huh? That looks really awesome. I guess you can probably stay here. I don't know if it's part of a private ranch or not. It's got a propane tank out back there, but it's very nice, very quaint. They got a camera up there for security, so I'm guessing it's probably privately owned or a place that you can rent out. You know, I really don't remember seeing that place the last time I was out here. I mean, obviously it was there, but I haven't been on here in so long. I just don't recall it being there. So we're just about to hit the turnoff for Maggie Mays Way and Cramm Mountain Loop. It's very short, so before we hit Humboldt Mountain, we're gonna go on in there and check that place out. Well, pretty nice views up here so far. Can't complain. I mean, you can never complain with good views. So just stopping on part of the loop up here, you can see down there, you can see a creek or river bottom. I don't know which one it is, but it does have some water in it. Got amazing views up here, and you can see the creek or river bottom, whatever it may be, winding along. You can see the water in that section down there. That's as far as this little lens zooms though, so I guess it'll be all right. And it's very easy. I haven't hit any obstacles or anything of that nature yet. I don't think there's gonna be, because I'm almost around the top. And once I get around the top, then we're just gonna go back out the same way we came in. It's only like a mile or so long. And that creek that I just showed you at the bottom there is in fact Cave Creek. Exiting back out onto Cave Creek Road. Next stop, the top of Humboldt Mountain. Provided there are no closed and locked gates. I'm pretty sure we can drive all the way to the top. There is a lookout out there, a fire lookout up there, but I don't think we're gonna be able to climb it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be all locked up. Now, can you see that off in the distance? That is Humboldt Mountain, and that is where we are going. You see what's on top of it? Well, you will when we get there. Sign's kind of hidden, but that says Seven Springs Recreation Area, which we're passing through now. A lot of great campsites in this area. Every other time I've been out here, there's been water flowing across that bridge. It's dry as a bone right now. There's a little bit of water over this one. There again is the top of Humboldt Mountain. You can see the dome, and we should be there fairly soon. Well, this gate's open, that's a good sign. It is paved to the top, but we're not going to air down because, air back up, because obviously we're going to be hitting dirt again. Now, I have seen this structure on top of Humboldt Mountain so many times off into the distance. I've always wanted to drive up there and check it out. So I was pretty excited that I was finally getting that chance. And of course, the views driving up weren't too shabby either. Wow. This is magnificent up here. I wasn't there quite yet, but as I was nearing the top of the mountain, I was anxious to finally come check out this place that has taunted me and caught my eye off in the distance so many times before. Humboldt Mountain FAA radar site was commissioned in 1959 to furnish radar track data to the FAA and to the U.S. Air Force Direction Centers. In 1972, a U.S. Air Force height finder radar was installed at this site to provide target height information to the newly formed Southern Air Defense Sector. The site is used primarily to identify and track military and civilian aircraft movements within a 200-mile radius and to provide air-ground radio communication with those aircraft. The radar itself is housed within the large white fiberglass dome. At one time, this site was manned 24/7 by radar techs in overnight shifts. There was even once a living quarters for the radar techs, but has since been dismantled. The site also has 2 fire lookout towers and are owned by the U.S. Forest Service, separate from the FAA installation. Dwarfed by the adjacent air traffic radar dome, Humboldt Mountain Lookout was built by the FAA in 1958. The Humboldt Mountain Fire Lookout is still in active service today and was placed on the National Historic Register in 2002. The site is also shared with what I believe is an AT&T telecom tower, which looks to me like it comes standard with a fire pit. I also read that Humboldt Mountain used to be a very popular spot for hang gliders. I did see pictures of a wooden platform that used to exist here, but it was either dismantled or was burned, as I did see evidence of scarring. You have some great views of Horseshoe Reservoir off in the distance, and I hear this is one of the best places to take in Arizona's most majestic sunsets. There is sort of like a trail that walks around this entire thing, so I'm going to walk around the whole thing and see what are the cool things that we can find. So there's another little structure with a grill next to it. You too. Take care, guys. Oh, maybe it's a bathroom. You know what? That might be what it is. But there is a small grill on the other side of it. That's the road that we came in on coming up. I'll make sure to be careful not to trip and fall as I trip over a rock and fall down this rocky hillside right here. Boy, I guess they really don't want you getting in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locks altogether. I can't say I blame them. Why do they gotta lock up everything? See that lookout tower right there? How much I would love to be able to get up inside that thing. That would be great. Now what do you think, guys? You think I could get in trouble for this? Oh look, my finger's trespassing. Uh-oh. Oh, now my hand's trespassing. Uh-oh. Cool spot to check out if you ask me. Now we're gonna head back down, get to the end of Cave Creek Road, and we're gonna call it a day. Some people started showing up. So I decided to leave, let them do their thing and be alone. How's that grass taste, buddies? Hello. You know, I'm doing 42, and apparently that's not fast enough for this idiot side-by-side guy going by me. Are you serious, dude? I'm not going fast enough for you? Okay, guys, well, from here on out, it's pavement to the main road. I always appreciate you guys watching my videos, and if you haven't already and you've been watching my content for some time, or if even this is your first video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of next month. Hope you guys had as a great time coming along with me as I did filming it for you. I'm AJ, and this is Bucking Life Off-Road. Always remember, don't ever stop exploring. We'll see you on the next one.